everybody? Dog8798 here. This is my salute of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, which of course started in 2008 with Iron Man. You don't know how big of a deal that was when I saw Iron Man, something I had seen in the comics and cartoons brought to life. I mean, well, we've kind of seen that with RoboCop, but Iron Man flying around, doing all the stuff, most of the stuff Iron Man does in the comics and cartoons, seeing a live action Ironmonger suit too. That was awesome, and that was the start of something great. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Kevin Feige is pretty much, he's the producer, and he's the producer for most of these Marvel Cinematic Films, and it was his early vision with I think I read this on Wikipedia, with a film called Ant-Man, that this Marvel Cinematic Universe was able to happen. He wanted it just like I was in the comic books. He wanted all these characters to exist on their own, but come together for a special event, then go back to being on their own, just like in their own comics, then come together again for a special event, which is their man. And that's what happened. And Iron Man was the start of all that. Then, of course, you got the Incredible Hulk, the reboot of the 2003 Ang Lee's Hulk, which was awesome. You had Hulk and the Abomination. Man, you had Edward Norton in the main role. He was good, taking over the role from Eric Bana. Then, of course, next you got we got Iron Man 2, which, tell you the truth, this really wasn't that good, and it was kind of forgettable. But this was a highly entertaining movie. Mickey Rourke was an awesome villain. So was Rockwell, and there was lots of kick-ass action. It was still entertaining to watch. They mostly focused on setting up an Avengers film. Next film, oh man, Thor. Never thought they would be able to make a really good Thor film, but this film right here was freaking awesome. I love the story of Thor and Loki. Then later that year, the remake, Captain America, the first Avenger. Then finally, all of that led up. All of those stories led up to one of the greatest Marvel films, superhero comic book films of all time. Probably the best film of our time, the 2012 film, The Avengers. My God, from beginning to end, this film was freaking awesome, man. What we've been waiting for our whole lives was finally here with The Avengers. Then they continued on. With Iron Man 3. This right here was garbage. This was the lowest point of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's all thanks to Shane Black. I wish Jon Favreau, who directed the first two, returned to direct Iron Man 3. This film, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst movie ever, but it's one of the worst comic book ever. One of the worst comic book movies ever. It's the worst in the cinematic universe, and it's the worst. And it's just a shit stain on the Marvel Cinematic universe, man. So yeah. Luckily, Thor 2: Dark World was awesome. This movie was awesome. It gave us more of what we wanted from the first Thor movie. More stuff in Asgard. More stuff in Asgard. More action and stuff. The only problem I have with this film is that this film, in comparison to the first one, this film is pretty damn forgettable. Next one is Captain America 2: Winter Soldier. This right here was awesome, man. I went into this film with low expectations. I just wanted to see a bunch of kick-ass action since we established who Captain America was in the first one. But this film right here, story-wise, was good. I love the inclusion of Falcon, and yeah, this was awesome film. The Winter Soldier was awesome. One of the best movie bad guys of all time. Next film was yes, Guardians of the Galaxy. They took a B-list team and made a blockbuster, man. This film from beginning to end was awesome. Action, drama, comedy, CGI, 3D, everything about this movie was awesome. The cast, everything, man. Man, Marvel, they took a B-list team of heroes and made a blockbuster. Of course, everybody knows Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man, but taking these guys and making a blockbuster shows that it can be done, man. It can be done. And now, this was the end of Marvel Phase 1. Now we're going to move on with Captain America 3, Avengers 2, Thor 3. Thor 3. They're talking about films of, don't really care about a film centered around Ant-Man, but if they can make it as good as these, I'll watch it. They're also talking about a film about Howard the Duck. Really don't care about that, but if they can make a good film, it looks like it's going to be good. I will watch that too. And then, of course, Doctor Strange. Never really cared for him solo. I loved him in the Spider-Man, the animated series. But a film with him, they can make it good. Go for it. Then, of course, television. Of course, you got the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I don't watch. But you got a Netflix series with a Netflix series coming up with centered around characters like Luke Cage, the Defenders, and Daredevil. That stuff sounds good. I even heard Punisher maybe mixed up in the Daredevil Netflix series. That sounds really good. This Marvel Cinematic Universe is just looking good. It's looking good. So yeah, like I said, this was my salute of Marvel Cinematic Universe, man. This right here is awesome, man. I can't wait for all the future stuff. All right, Doug out.